Hello and thanks for joining me for This Week in Business here on Africa News. I am Amelia Nakitimbo. So how do you make Africa stronger and give her people the future they deserve? Perhaps by ensuring that African Union member states contribute dutifully towards financial independence using sanctions. The takeaway from the 11th extraordinary session, which closed on Monday, is that the continent's leaders want to change pace. How? By reducing or cutting dependence on foreign aid. The aid is estimated to cover 54% of the total budget at $681.5 million in 2019. The AU has also launched a fund dedicated to curbing crises on the continent before they evolve into full-blown conflicts. I'm watching out for the final adopted agenda and trade reforms and how they translate eventually to the person on the ground, away from all the political and diplomatic lingo. Away from that, now players are closely watching the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and oil prices. Reuters reports that oil prices dropped sharply on Tuesday amid concerns about rising global supplies as OPEC weighs a possible cut in production. And how does a market analyst read into this recent fall?
It's interesting because oil is now at its most overstretched, most oversold for over 35 years on these charts that I look at. I suppose it sets us up for a bit of a short squeeze, but potentially would that even change the outlook? I think that it would be a struggle to change how the markets are looking at oil at the moment. They need OPEC to really cut production, I think, in the December meeting.
Now, OPEC is pushing for supply cut of 1 million to 1.4 million barrels per day. On Tuesday, the OPEC envoy for the United Arab Emirates said it was very likely the group would reduce its output, but the exact level has yet to be decided. So you can say that the world has been waiting for OPEC's next move, especially after US President Donald Trump accused the cartel of, quote-unquote, ripping off the rest of the world by setting high prices and urged the Saudis to boost output. Now here's Richard Perry again.
Oil producers, certainly if you see the oil price falling, is not obviously going to be a good thing. And there's reading actually that the US is pretty much close to being a net beneficiary of a higher oil price. I think that generally speaking, if oil does fall away, but in a more orderly fashion, I think that the global economy would take that as probably a net positive, but I think it's all about the orderly nature of the decline. And certainly if oil can start to find support at these lower levels, then maybe that's, again, a bit of a positive for the global economy.
As of 2016, this organization, which includes 7 African countries, prided in being in possession of 81.5% of global proven crude oil reserves and accounts for more than 50% of world exports. Now, away from that, the World Bank has reconsidered a decision to withhold a $300 million education loan to Tanzania. The decision had been triggered by Tanzanian government's infamous ban on pregnant schoolgirls from rejoining school even after giving birth. The World Institution and the East African nation are working on conditions for reinstating the loan. According to the World Bank's Vice President for Africa, Dr. Hafez Ghanem, the loan will take up to 5 years to be disbursed. That is if it's approved by the board of directors first, and the loan is intended to build school infrastructure such as laboratories, hostels, and classrooms. Now, I'd like to pick your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on the authoritarian approach, which involves moral policing? Do you think that it would keep schoolgirls in or students in school because they've scared you into not going, into not getting pregnant, especially given your religious background?
If I may speak first, I think it's a very, very counterproductive approach, personally, and I don't think that you should, if anything, if you want to keep girls in school, be it if they're pregnant or not, at least they're going to school. And after giving pregnancy, they can always come back. After giving birth, they can always come back and at least have an education. And I don't think that the way the government, Tanzanian government, handled it was really effective or actually called for.
Yeah, I think denying them opportunity to education is not good. It's not good, whether they're pregnant or not. But I do understand what the Tanzanian leader is trying to do. However, the model of operation or the modus operandi of doing that is not. I think it will be counterproductive, just as she said.
agree with Jerry and Hanan. I think denying girls education because they got pregnant is like taking away a ladder because someone missed a step while climbing. And education plays a major part in empowerment and thus should not be denied. And that's it from me today. I'm Amelia Nakitimbo. Goodbye.